Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome to K-Wing's Let's Plays and a very special video tonight on Power Rangers, once and always, movie review, discussion, and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's the 30th anniversary of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and we figured what better game to play tonight than the very hard-to-find beat-em-up game starring the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That's right, Power Rangers!
Oh, yeah!
The OGs! Who are only in once and always for 5 to 6 minutes.
Oh, wow.
If you don't count, like, Billy and Zack, who were in it the whole movie, but Jason, Trini, Zack, Tommy, Kim, and Billy are at the beginning of the movie for, like, 6 minutes. And then, of course, they're gone. Now, Jason, Tommy, and Kim only appear in their suits, and the guy who they got to do ASJ's voice doesn't sound like ASJ, except for maybe 2 parts in the movie. So.
Yeah, and I think they took some clips from ASJ for some of it.
His Beast Morphers Tyrannosaurus thing that he said is from the Beast Morphers episode when he morphs off screen. Yeah.
So far, Lucas showed me some important clips from the movie, and it looks really cool, actually.
Yep.
And it's pretty high production quality, to be completely honest.
So you can be whoever you want.
Okay.
So I guess I could actually go, we could be Billy and Zack if we want, the 2 stars of it.
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, you said you might play as Trini, but...
I might do Trini too, but I'll kick, I'll do Trini
We can have
first.
Trini as a computer player.
I don't think you get to do that. It's only 2 players.
Oh, okay. Whoever you want to do is fine.
Yeah, I'll do Zack. I like that. Back in black! Oh yeah! Alright, we good to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
It's Morphin time!
Ayo!
Alright, so Once and Always is a brand new movie. It's for more mature people. It's nothing like the original show because they say murder, kill, in place of destroy or beaten, defeated. They literally use, like, Trini was killed and Rita murdered and, there's very intense stuff where, like, Rita's not playing around anymore. She was having fun in the beginning, but then she's like, I'm not messing around anymore, and she literally, after 30 years floating around in space, that's pretty much it.
She's had it.
She's had it. She's like, I'm not messing with these former teenagers with attitude, like these grandparents, basically, and she plays for keeps, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the movie was super intense, and I think David Youst and Walter Jones did a great job.
Yep. Good time.
And I wonder if the girl who plays Trini's daughter will end up as a Power Ranger.
She ended up the Ranger movie.
Oh, okay.
Of course, which is something Netflix has been teasing for over a year, so it's not like it's uncharted territory. We will be going over spoilers in this, but pretty much what you need to know about the movie is it opens up with Billy kind of off on his own, and you're like, wait, where's his where's the rest of the team? Where's Jason and the others? And eventually he shows up and they help out, but just like you guys have seen in the trailer, unfortunately Rita is playing for keeps, and she's very mad at Billy because Billy messed up her face. So basically it was personal. How did you morph again? What button did you press?
I pressed the R1 button and held it in. Like this.
What R1 button?
Like this. R.
Like the block?
I don't know, maybe I just pressed this.
Mask it up!
There we go.
That. Yeah, there you go.
I got it. So now, it's been so long since we played this, but this game was so interesting back in the day. Also, there's not many games that really have the putties.
Yeah, I don't think you can even get this game anymore.
No, I don't know if this game can still be downloaded or not. I don't think so. It might. I don't know.
Yeah, so, basically, I don't really know how to explain the beginning of it, but...
They're attacked by Rita and Putties, and Jason and the team show up. They kick butt for about 5 minutes, and then Trini, unfortunately, sacrifices her life because the actress has been gone for a very long time. Twee Trang passed away in the year 2001, from a car accident. So they've actually been milking the character off and on for 30 years. Trini has appeared in multiple team-up movies. Or not team-up movies, team-up episodes.
Yeah.
Jason and the team showed up. The original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers helped out in Super Mega Force. She was summoned to help Jason and the others against the revived Goldar Maximus in Power Rangers Beast Morphers and Dino Charge crossover episode. She has a non-speaking role, though, but she's there. Zack is there non-speaking, Billy's there non-speaking, and Kim's there. Jason's the only one who speaks for the team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which is kind of sad. I kind of wish that they did the Beast Morphers episode the same way they handled the Morphed Rangers in this special, this movie, because all the Rangers talk, sort of. Jason doesn't really say anything other than Tyrannosaurus.
At least they have sound bites of all of them.
Yep, they had sound bites for Kim and JDF and all kinds of people. Yep. And it's kind of interesting that this special is very similar to the story that David Youst was writing called Power Rangers Quantum Continuum, which basically explains what Billy has been up to for the past 30 years. And, traveling through space and stuff. And Billy's going to show up in the new Power Rangers Cosmic Fury for 1 or 2 episodes that'll explain the after events of Power Rangers Once and Always.
Yeah.
So it'll tie in. Hasbro is actually being pretty smart, and a lot of people are hoping that this special does well so that we can get more older Power Ranger things. But at the same time, as much fun as it would see Austin St. John and some of these other guys come back and suit up again, I mean, Rocky especially, Steve Cardenas looks old. Not grandpa age, but Zack looks amazing. Walter, hasn't really aged a day, and David Youst doesn't look bad, but Catherine Sutherland and Rocky, the years haven't been super kind to them. They look really old.
Yeah, it's weird that people just age at different rates and stuff.
Which is weird because Rocky and Kat were just they were just in a special 4 or 5 years ago, and they looked relatively okay. But they definitely, you can see, compared to Walter and David, the years have just been kinder to David and Walter.
Yeah, I mean...
But ASJ also doesn't really look good for his age.
Walter Jones said, 50 is the new 30.
Yeah. For him.
For him, it does. I mean, even when I was thinking, because in his character's supposed to be a congressman, and I'm thinking, wow, he looks way too young to be a congressman. But he isn't young, he just looks really young.
I think we're supposed to attack him with weapons, but I don't remember. These dudes are...
I forgot what my weapons were.
I hit him with my axe attack. I thought that I could attack him from behind, but maybe we can just run away. Try to run away from him! Run away! No, we have to fight him, darn. I don't really remember how to play this game. It's been so long. Do we have a supercharge ability? Gotta be able to break a shield or something.
Yeah, I think there is a supercharge.
Oh, something happened. Doesn't matter, he's dead.
Well, I don't know how we did that.
But speaking of Walter, I would say that Zack is the breakaway character of this movie. Every scene that Walter is in, he steals it. And he doesn't mean to steal it. He's just that good. He hasn't been on a Power Rangers episode in almost 30 years. I think, or 28 years, he said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's got some of the cool fight sequences. He's got some of the best lines. And he also does hip-hop keto in the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was actually. And then Trini's daughter explains to him, wait, you're breakdance fighting? And his breakdance fighting was tight. Zack still has the moves after all these years, which was awesome. I was like, oh my gosh, they actually did hip-hop keto. But he doesn't do hip-hop keto morphed. It's an unmorphed fight sequence. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it was cool to see the Rangers actually fight unmorphed. There's a reason why they're running around unmorphed, which I'll get into later. But it was a great sequence because in the original Mighty Morphin series, the Rangers, for the most part, they would all fight unmorphed. And then they would morph and you'd have the stunt doubles do their things. But the Ranger actors, you would get to see them fight without the Ranger suits, which was kind of like teenagers with attitudes type stuff, right?
Right.
So that was a nice throwback to that because a lot of the Hasbro shows and even a lot of the neon Neo or Neon Saban, or I think whatever, Neo Saban.
I think it's Neo Saban.
The Nickelodeon years, from what I can remember, like Power Ranger Samurai and Super Mega Force, they didn't really do unmorphed battles. Like, they were always in their costumes.
Yeah.
So it was a nice throwback to that kind of stuff. But anyway, so it's after Trini is taken down by Rita. Basically, Billy and Zack are arguing in Trini's house, trying to figure out what they're going to tell Min. Yeah, what they're going to tell Trini's daughter. Like, did Trini drown? Did she get in a car accident? That kind of stuff. And they're like, Zordon specifically said we're not supposed to say who we are, even to family or whatever.
And then they were saying, like, no, we need to tell her that she was killed by Rita Repulsa. And then as soon as they said that,
the girl walked in the room. Yeah. So I actually thought, like, they were. I was trying to think, like, how are they going to do the special without, like, ASJ and Kim, and of course, the passing of JDF and stuff, who was actually still alive and declined the movie, and then the movie actually was changed. Originally, they were going to do something based on the Boom Studio comics with, like, him passing on the Green Ranger powers or something like that to his son JJ.
Yeah.
But JDF didn't want anything to do with the special because he really wanted to focus on his White Dragon movie. So he was done with Power Rangers, and then that's when they got Walter and Zack on board, and they also approached ASJ and Amy Jo. But the rumor is that ASJ and Amy Jo didn't agree to the salary that was supposed to be done.
Oh, wow.
They wanted a little bit more than what Walter and David agreed on.
I see.
So, that's why they couldn't get all four of them. And of course, also, Austin had some other problems that we're not going to talk about, because it's just like, most likely he's going to win his court case anyway. But I don't want to bring any negativity to the film.
Right.
But he couldn't go to New Zealand, so.
Yeah.
They brought in Steve Cardenas, who they really have worked with a couple times, because Steve, likes to suit up when he can, and also, Steve's funny, so, but he's no leader. In fact, in this movie, basically Billy and Zack are kind of co-leaders, and some people are like, oh, they made the Black Ranger the leader because of, 2020, and it's like, no. Zack has always been second in command. The command chain for Power Rangers was always red, black, and then green. And then, like, later, David Youst, who stayed the longest, he was second in command once the replacement Rangers came in.
Yeah, they were both kind of second in command for different reasons.
Yeah, so, and also in the Super Sentai, like, Zoo Ranger thing, Genki's second in command, the Mammoth Ranger, was the one calling a lot of the shots in the field and stuff like that.
Yeah. In Sentai, a lot of the times the Black Ranger is second in command.
Yep.
And then, because Billy stayed on so long, he kind of became this, since he was only one left for a while.
Well, they weren't using Super Sentai footage anymore by the time the third season rolled around.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out how we're supposed to beat this guy. I killed him by accident at one time. Alright, I did it again. Punch him! Oh, darn. His shield was down. And yes, there you go. Excellent, yeah. I think we have to, like, air attack him. Totes.
Nice job.
I don't know what that does. I think that refills my health. Yeah, this game was kind of brutal if you don't know what you're doing. But it's still fun. So, where was I? We were... so the chain of command was definitely Zack was calling the shots in this.
Yeah,
for the most part. But they were also going by Billy's plan. One thing I really liked about the movie, too, is they brought back Billy speak. Now, if you don't know what Billy speak is, Billy spoke in military terms and mathematical equations. And that's something that when his character had growth in the third season of Power Rangers and when he was on Zeo, kind of went, to just being like a normal guy. But they brought back things like affirmative in this and some of his other, like, classic Billy lines that he hadn't said in almost 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was a nice touch. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the classic Mighty Morphin again, because Billy's actually saying affirmative, and, Trini and him have, like, their own, like, geek speak. Except,
I see.
Except Trini didn't say much.
Yeah. So they have him have geek speak because he's, like, or because he was in the military?
No, he's always spoke like that. I don't know why he did that. He just did.
I didn't mean to say nerd, but I meant like smart people.
Yeah, he was. I mean, basically he is, in this Power Ranger universe, Billy is basically like Bill Gates or the guy who invented Apple.
Oh, wow.
He has his own company called Cranston Tech.
Oh, wow.
And that is where the new command center is. The new command center is actually above Billy's, like, place of business.
You must be Rita Repulsa.
No.
You got that right.
We don't need to read these. We already did all this stuff. We don't need to do this. It's people have seen this. Let's get going, guys! Teleport away!
Yeah.
So, and yeah, there is spoilers to this discussion, people, so just bear in mind.
That's really cool. So basically, Zack was a congressman for a while, and Billy ended up making a really successful tech company.
Yeah, after the first battle with Robo Rita at the beginning of the movie, you see that, you know, Billy was wearing just his normal, like, blue t-shirt and blue jeans and stuff, like, homage to classic Power Rangers, and Zack was in this really clean, sleek-looking suit.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, what is he, like a businessman or something? And then you find out, no, he's like, I guess the representative for Angel Grove in Congress or something, or maybe another state. They don't really say. They say he was he was a congressman or a representative. Yeah, a congressman. But they don't say if it's for Angel Grove or not. I don't know where it was. I'm assuming it's Angel Grove. So that was cool. It was like, you know, I was thinking they were going to do like the Winston thing with him, and they were going to make him like a billionaire or something, but they're like, nah, we're going to make Zack, because of the whole peace conference thing, we're going to throw back to that, and we're going to have Zack get into politics. So, yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, you must have learned something about the international politics of that.
Now, changing gears a little bit, so the series that basically Billy or David Youst was writing, the Power Rangers Quantum Continuum, which, again, this shares a lot of similarities to that thing David Youst has been writing for, I don't know, probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, Trini was going to die in both of those. Like, she died fighting Robo Rita. They were going to have her die fighting either a monster or she was going to be attacked on Morph. And, like, you know, they were also going to reveal who the father was in the Quantum Continuum. And some people said, sometimes David Yost says that ASJ was the one who married Trini. But then also, I believe he said that he and Kim got married. So it might have been Billy was the husband in Quantum Continuum or Zack.
Oh,
I don't remember. It was one or the other. But and you know, there was going to be like a little bit of like Ranger drama between like two Rangers like Trini in the Quantum Continuum. It was either going to be Billy and Zack. We're going to get into kind of like a fist fight. And the Sabretooth powers were actually going to be used by Tommy because the Green Ranger powers are gone. After Trini dies in the Quantum Continuum universe, the Green Ranger powers are no more. Like, they haven't been, you know, in Billy's version, they haven't been around for some time.
Oh, wow.
So what they were going to do is they were actually going to have Tommy, like Jason David Frank, become the Yellow Ranger, which would, you know, basically coincide with what the Super Sentai show was. Because, you know, the Yellow Ranger in Super Sentai, like the one that was adapted for Power Rangers, was a man.
Was a guy,
Which, Tree Trang always kind of found that funny. Like, Twee was like, oh, that's interesting that, you know, that's what it's like in Super Sentai, but, you know, I'm a girl in this one. So they were going to pay homage to that, because David Youst is familiar with Super Sentai.
Right. Oh, wow.
The rest of the cast is not, outside of like JDF and I believe Johnny Young Bosch, you know, would know about like Super Sentai.
Yeah.
But again, that's not the special. That's what David Yost was. What I'm saying is they adapted some of the stuff from it. Like, there was going to be a lot of Tommy and Jason stuff because David Yost wanted in his story to focus on the two brothers, like the two best friends, Tommy and Jason, working together to kind of like, you know, die down a lot of rumors about how they don't get along off camera.
Right. Yeah,
so
exactly.
he was writing Jason and Tommy as best friends for his story.
Oh, that's so nice.
And in this story, Jason and Tommy are like really good friends that you can see briefly, because when Jason gets taken down by Robo Rita, basically what they do is, yeah, we're kind of loud, sorry. basically, after they take down... when Jason gets taken down, like, Tommy goes in immediately and tries to defeat Robo Rita, and things don't go well for him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I think things were really loud for us, probably. After 10,000 years, I'm free! Yeah. Sorry, guys, we had to lower stuff. I didn't know if things were too loud or what. I don't really remember how to fight in the Megazord.
I don't know how to do this either.
I think we have to time it, like square, X, triangle, or something like that. Did we jam it up?
I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Can you press anything or no?
No, I can't do anything.
I can't do anything either.
I feel like it's completely messed up. Like, I don't see anything.
Can you... I can't do anything either. We're frozen.
I think it's just frozen.
We jammed up the game.
Got jammed up.
Whoopsies. All right, let's go to a different level. I mean, this game is so old, you know? It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next fight.
I don't remember it jamming up last time we played.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me.
All right, I'll stay with Billy, because...
I kind of lost my train of thought because the game jammed up on us.
Yeah, let's see. What were we talking about? Let's see. So you said that, basically in Zach's version, he was writing...
David's version.
I'm sorry, in David's version that he wrote, that the Green Ranger was losing his powers, and then the Green Ranger became the Yellow Ranger, and that...
Yeah, in David's version.
In that version.
So, in this version, you don't really see a lot of the original cast. They're in the movie for like 5-6 minutes, morphed.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they're there, they're still focusing the camera on Zach and Billy. In fact, Billy has this awesome fight against Robo Rita that is very well choreographed too. So, like, they make it look like Billy is actually the star of it because he has a really big arc in it. Like, but even though he's technically like the big starring lead in it,
right?
And he probably like helped with the script and stuff like that because it feels like they borrowed elements of his you know, project that originally he wanted to pitch to Netflix anyway.
Right.
There's a lot of Billy love in it, so people really like Billy. The Rad Bug's in it. Billy's basically like Bill Gates now, and Elon Musk combined. You know.
Oh, did he invent the rad bug in the
Trini did.
show?
Trini and Billy built it together. So the Rad Bug 2 is in it. I know, it's a nice little tribute.
Yeah, I always thought they were trying to get Billy and Trini together, like in the first.
In the comics, they got Billy, in the comics they got Trini and Zack together and Jason at one point.
Oh wow! Everyone was about to get together with Trini. She's very sweet.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
no, just Zack and the Red Ranger.
I always thought
Black Ranger and Red Ranger.
I always thought that Billy was going to end up with Trini.
Me too,
because they were very sweet with each other. But then, like, he ends up with a girl from Aquitar, which they talked about. They did.
Oh my god!
I'm serious. At the end of the movie, they make mention of the Aquitar Rangers, and they talk about his old girlfriend or old flame, and how. Maybe they hint that they're still married or they're still together because Billy says he looks forward to seeing her again, and you know he is going back into space and things like that. Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't think you know David would be cool because he literally walked off the set in Zeo, and they had this guy who was like so old replace him for Zeo, like literally an old man. They turned into Billy. That Billy was aging rapidly. And then they married him off to some alien woman. So it was.
I wouldn't have. If it was me, I would have been like, I would have just pretended that story didn't exist.
It was interesting that they did a throwback to that, and I was like, okay, that's. I didn't think they would do that, but they did. It's Morphin time. There we go. Yeah, remember to attack him in the face. Oh, never mind. You're good. You got this. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Man, this game is still fun. It is.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going completely out of order. So the whole aspect of this movie is every Power Rangers episode had a theme. You know, whether it was like gung ho or teamwork or you know never giving up, things like that. This movie was about justice, not vengeance or revenge. And the main character Min, Trini's daughter, has to learn that. In order to be a ranger, you can't do it for personal reasons. And, of course, her personal reason is she wants revenge for the death of her mom.
Yeah.
And the other rangers, too. Actually, the reason why in the writing, why Jason, Kimberly, and Tommy are defeated is because they don't have their head in the game. They've actually been, after Trini's death, they have been chasing after Robo-Rita through the Dark Dimension. The Dark Dimension is actually from, I think, Beast Morphers or another Power Rangers show. So for over a year, they've been tracking down Rita, which is something would have been cool to see. You know, the Rangers, like, literally out for blood. But you don't see it. Basically, what they do is they fast forward a year, and the Rangers are at the, you know, they all come back to go to Trini's, like, you know, 1 year thing, visiting at the grave, and they were going to be there to reminisce, and Robo-Rita shows up, and, you know, because the Rangers are unfocused, they get... And which you can see, when I mean they're unfocused, they're not talking, but you can tell by their mannerisms, like, usually when the Rangers are facing off against a monster, like the original Mighty Morphin team, they don't have their fists clenched like they're, you know, wanting, like, you know, to really beat the monster down. Like, Jason, as leader of the Rangers, was very calm and collective.
Right.
And, you know, but all the Rangers, when they see Robo-Rita after a year of tracking her, you can see the stunt actors have their fists clenched like they want to kill her. You know? And they're just... Sense. And because... when you're in a fight and you're not, like, cool-headed, I was watching the special again, even though ASJ and you know, Amy Jo and JDF, RIP, aren't in the special, their characters are, and their characters are behaving irrationally. Like, they're very, we have to rescue the hostages. They're very angry and distraught, and they fight very sloppy against that, like, lizard monster. And that's why they get taken down. Like, they're not thinking. They're just, you know, they want revenge. And you can tell by their mannerisms. So, that was interesting to see. I was like, wow, that they put a lot of thought into this, actually. Like, the more fights. Because if you go back and you look at when the Rangers appear for the first time at the beginning of the special, like, they're acting like themselves, like Trini and Kimberly are, you know, doing, like, goofy gestures, and, you know, the Rangers are relaxed, kicking butt and stuff like that. And then when they meet up a year later, you know, they're out for blood.
Right.
Which I wish they would have focused on that more. But, of course, they couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't because they didn't have those Rangers all there.
Although, they used JDF's, like, sound bites from Battle for the Grid when he spoke.
Oh, that's cool.
They could have used Austin St. John's voice lines from Battle for the Grid as well.
Yeah.
To give him actually some speaking things other than just grunting and morphing.
Yeah, they could have done that. Maybe they thought it wasn't good enough quality or something.
I think they didn't want to, like, do too much with the unmorphed, like, the morphed Rangers.
Yeah.
I think that's why. Because they wanted the focus to be on the actors that actually showed up.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Like, so. Because if they really wanted to be in the movie, they could have taken the low pay and been in it.
Something like that, but, you know, I think the special worked for it. It did. I'm glad. I know I complain a lot, but I'm glad that they went about at least showing the original 6, because you can't do a 30-year reunion with the replacement characters.
Right.
And the replacement characters are in there, and they have a role to play, but it's like, they weren't the original 5 or 6 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so the fact that they show the original 6, and they have a cool fight sequence, and they have, like, a cool story, and you know what goes on with them, and what happened to them as the movie progressed, it was handled the best it could. So the writers, I give them major props for that.
Right. It was good that they focused on the original 5 or 6 first, and then... Yeah. Then they could add the other people in there later after the story was, like, established.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that. So, as you know, at the cemetery battle, like, they show up. Jason, Kim, and Tommy get taken down and transported into this weird machine of Rita's that she's trying to go back in time and kill the Rangers before they were ever Power Rangers so that Rita will win. It's not really a very, you know, amazing plot, but in Rita's mind it makes sense, you know?
Right.
Are you gonna morph ever?
I guess I can morph.
Triceratops! There you go.
Triceratops!
Yay.
I always forget which one
it's fine.
Sorry, I was trying to give him more screen time.
Giving David more screen time, yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. We actually have a skill tree. Holy cow.
Oh, we have all our skills from when we did this last
No,
time.
we actually never upgraded them. Because we didn't really play with, we played with our favorite characters, which...
Yeah, I played as Trini and you played as Jason.
I played as Jason the whole time, yeah.
We
Dual
played
strike,
little,
summon 2-player to do some stuff.
we played a little bit as the other character.
Yeah, I mean, this game was a lot of fun for what it was. Power Blaster! Yeah, there we go, super move. I don't even know how to do that. In Power Super Mode, press the team move to call for the Power Blaster. I don't even know how to use the team move. Triple strike is cool looking. Okay, I'm all out of stuff. How did you even get to this mode? Confirm purchase, yes.
I pressed X by,
You've got 1 Power Ranger coin, so you can maybe buy one thing. Or maybe I used
Power
all your
Ranger
stuff,
coins.
I don't know. Oh, it looks like you actually leveled up Billy quite a bit back in the day. Look at that.
Yeah, I must have leveled
You
him
did.
up.
That's why your heart and stuff has lasted longer than me. You have more stamina than I do.
No, I don't think I
Yep, you're good. You
I
can
don't
just
think
exit.
I can do it. It won't allow me anything. So
You can just exit out.
I don't know how to exit out.
Options.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get to the replacement Rangers. So basically,
Yeah.
after Jason, Tommy, and Kim are taken by Rita, and the original Mighty Morphin Rangers, there's only 2 of them left now, because Trini is gone, there is no new Yellow Ranger,
Yeah.
and the leader of the Rangers is gone, Tommy is gone, and Kim is gone, and it's up to Zack and Billy to try to figure out a way of getting their friends back.
Right.
They initiate the Bandora Protocol, which is a throwback to Super Sentai, because the witch Bandora is who Rita was.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yep. And so they contact all the different Ranger teams from the Saban era and tell them to be on the
wow.
lookout for Robo Rita. And apparently for a year, they've been working with these other Ranger teams to get this protocol in motion about the return of Rita and, to get vengeance for what happened to Trini. Like, all the Ranger teams on Earth are aware of what happened, and, it would have been interesting to see some of them, but again, this is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, wow. So several teams are coming together to...
Alpha contacts the other Rangers through the Bandora Protocol feature that Billy created in the new command center, and tells them that, they need to go and fight these putties that are literally popping up all over the world. Rita, by herself, is attacking the entire Earth.
That's pretty crazy. It shows how powerful she is.
I know. It was actually, wow, Rita, really is kind of a threat in this.
Yeah, like you said, when she, blasted them when she came in, you said, she doesn't mess around.
It kind of reminded me of, how Cobra Commander was in that one R-rated movie with G.I. Joe. Like, he said, no time to joke around anymore, and he just literally would kill his own henchmen or try to kill the Joes. He wasn't holding back. That's exactly what they did with Rita.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, this is a PG-13 movie, so...
Yeah, that was...
Go nuts, Rita!
They had some dark, when they came into the graveyard where Trini was, they were giving their respects to Trini.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of her henchmen said, wow, this is beautiful.
All the
rows and
graves.
rows of dead humans.
Yeah.
And then Rita said, someday Earth will be just like this.
Yep.
Where it will be rows of dead humans everywhere.
It actually takes,
that's so disturbing.
Watching the movie a couple times to really pick up on some of the really dark dialogue that the movie had.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the more I was watching it, I've seen it 3 times now. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is okay. I was a little miffed, how they handled the original 5, or original 6. It was kind of but then I was like, after the second time watching it, was like, what they did was the best way they could have shown the original 6.
Yeah, they showed them all fighting morphed, and they sounded cool, and they
showed
cool.
what happened to them and all that other stuff.
And they got their personalities good when Trini got yeeted, because Kim fell on her knees, and so they got them to act the way that they would have acted, the different personalities.
Well, Trini was Kimberly's best friend, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm glad that they showed some type of emotion, because the only one who screams no is Billy.
Yeah, so it's good that they actually showed emotion.
Yeah.
No, and everyone else is just sitting there.
They could have used sound bites for the other Rangers, because you have to remember, they'd been a team for 30 years.
Yeah.
So, but, it was nice that they had the mannerisms for the characters down. even though they were stunt actors. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so anyway, after the Bandora Protocol thing happens, and they're like, oh man, you know, Rita's doing all this other stuff. They're like, well, we're short rangers, and they're talking to Adam and Aisha, who are on their way back to Earth. They work for they don't really state who they work for, but I'm pretty sure it's like Power Rangers SPD, but they might be like instructors at like a Power Rangers SPA, like, you know, Space Patrol Academy or something.
Yeah.
Or they could be Space Patrol Alpha. They don't really say. You never see them morph or anything. They're in their basically SPD uniforms, which is was another Saban series.
Right.
I think SPD was still part of Saban.
I think it was.
It might have been ABC, actually. I don't remember. ABC Family, the Disney years.
That wasn't the one right after Mighty Morphin, though.
No, Mighty Morphin, the Saban years. Let's see if I can do this correctly.
Oh my gosh.
Saban years: Mighty Morphin, Alien, Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Wild Force, Time Force. I don't know who else would be Saban. I don't think Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm was Disney. I might be missing a team.
Yeah.
Did I miss a team? Did I get them all? Did I get all the Saban teams? Or am I missing one? Can't remember.
Oh, I guess I can try
I think I got them all. I got them all. Cool.
We have one Ranger coin.
You still don't have enough Ranger coins. I'm sorry. I think we combined Ranger coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we combined Ranger coins.
I
You're
did.
fine
I'm
because
sorry.
you weren't as leveled up. So that's
Okay. So anyway,
good.
as the movie progresses, basically they're gonna need some backup. So Alpha, since Red and Pink are gone, they can't have a full Ranger team because they don't have yellow and green. You know, they basically call in two other Rangers that have used the powers before, and those Rangers were Rocky and Cat. Cat and Rocky, as far as I know, never had Dino Powers. They had Thunderzord powers. So the Power Rangers, because the original Zords were kind of destroyed and then turned into the Thunder Zords, except technically the original Zords were never killed. Like, Zordon fused the Thunder Zords with the, Dino Zords. But Rocky never had Dino powers. Neither did Cat. They had, Ninja powers and something else, which they actually made mention of that, because Rocky was like, well, since I'm here now, if Jace and Kim aren't here, that means the Dino Megazord is off the table because he's never been able to use it because he's not connected to the morphing grid for that Zord.
That makes sense.
He has never piloted the Dino Megazord. And technically, he really doesn't pilot the Dino Megazord. Neither does Cat. They were also working on a contingency plan without Trini to get the Sabertooth Tiger Zord to work, without her. In case they needed to form the Dino Megazord.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, the reason why they bring up the Megazord is because the Megazord was last used by the original Mighty Morphin team in the Beast Morpher Special. The Dino Megazord was used with the Dino Charge Megazord and the Dino Thunder Megazord to fight Goldar Maximus.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they bring up we might need Dino Megazord power. So the first time the Megazord has been in use again was during Beast Morphers. So they're still, getting the kinks out of it and stuff like that. So that was fun that they kind of mentioned it. But they didn't mention Beast Morphers, just talking about how they don't really use the Dino Megazord much. So what they do, Alpha basically hands Rocky and Cat Dino coins, and Zack's like, hold on a second. You guys shouldn't really be using this because these are active powers. And Zordon said that, you really shouldn't be doing that because messing with active powers is dangerous. And then Cat makes mention of a YouTuber's, what do they call it? Like a YouTuber's meme thing where she says too much pink power is dangerous, but once a Ranger, and then Rocky's like always a Ranger, and they're going to use the Dino powers. So, I mean, that was, I think they handled that pretty well. They explained it how, basically Rocky and Cat have copies of the pink and red powers. and they're able to use them independent of their morphing grid. But of course, Jason and Kim aren't going to be demorphed when Rocky and Kat use their Tyrannosaurus and Pterodactyl power. So basically, they have like not necessarily duplicates made. They're there's another word they use for it.
I don't know.
It's like a copy of the powers, but they're not going to mess with Jason and Kim's like connection to the morphing grid.
Yeah, I understand.
Because if they were to demorph where they are now in Rita's domain, they would die. Like because the morphing grid is the only thing keeping Jason, Tommy, and Kim alive.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty dark. So they have the ability to go Dino Power, and then Zack leads the team into Angel Grove to fight some putties, like classic style. And pretty much they discover that the Minotaur guy, which was a monster Jason destroyed in the original series, was basically able to track the Rangers when they're morphed.
Oh, wow.
So, not just for screen time, the Rangers decide, okay, if they can track us when we're morphed, we're going to show the ailing actors unmorphed and have them power down various times. So, even though it's called Power Rangers, they're not morphed for most of the movie.
Oh wow!
They purposely like demorph, power down, so the Minotaur person can't track them, and then you get to see more of stuff with Min, because Min can't use the saber-tooth tiger powers because she's very angry. She's a teenager with attitude.
Oh, I see.
Like PG-13 style. She wants to kill people.
Wow.
Which is weird because, like, you know, that's not what Rangers do. Rangers don't seek revenge. Rangers don't do that. But this is the first time that a Power Ranger death has actually stuck, because the last Power Ranger to die in action was Lost Galaxy Pink, and she came back at the end. She was alive again.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Trini, no such luck with that. She's the first Ranger outside of Magna Defender to literally die in action.
Oh my gosh.
And she's from the original team, too, so she is the, like, in Ranger lore, she's the first.
Yeah, definitely. That's a pretty big thing.
It is. It is. That's actually something ASJ always wanted, though. He said that he actually, in Forever Red, he asked them to kill his character.
Wow.
Yeah. But they didn't, obviously they didn't do it because it was a kid's show, but, you know, both JDF and him thought it would be, like, you know, really high stakes stuff, and they're like, no, we're not going to kill ASJ. We're not going to kill the original Red Ranger. This is a kid's show. But they, you know, they joked about it and be like, oh, wow, that would be interesting.
Yeah, well, yeah, so she can't actually have her mom's saber-tooth powers because she's too angry.
She wants revenge.
She has to calm down.
Yeah, Trini was calm of spirit and, you know, very, like, kung fu, tai chi, like, very, very calm person. Her daughter is bloodthirsty revenge. So every time she tries to morph with the saber-tooth tiger powers, the saber-tooth tiger coin rejects her. So it doesn't let her morph. I've actually never seen that happen. I thought whoever has the power morpher, to some extent, because literally they brought in all these replacement Rangers that had no connection to the morphing grid, and they were able to morph. So I was thinking, okay, how in the world are they going to do this? How are they going to have Min become the Yellow Ranger? Like, because Zordon literally had to select, like, the appropriate candidates, like the original 5, for them to become the Power Rangers. That's what the lore of the show was. But then when they had to send the 3 characters to the peace conference, then Zordon's like, oh no, we have to find this sword that I just made up that can copy their powers like a Xerox machine. And then we can have 3 new Rangers, while the other Rangers leave with their powers completely intact, independent of the morphing grid.
Right.
Because the actors left the show.
Right.
So then they had to find all these wacky ways of explaining how Rangers keep their powers over the years, but, you know, the Sword of Power basically just copied Jason, Trini, and Zack's powers. They never lost them, but, of course, Jason doesn't show up as a Red Ranger in Zeo, which would have been awesome. But he shows up in Forever Red with his Dino coin, and it's not damaged, like Rocky's. Rocky's coins are damaged because, you know, the Mighty Morphin powers, the powers for the Ninja show, like the Power Rangers Season 2 and 3, those powers were destroyed. The original Dino powers are the only ones that really exist.
Oh, wow.
But they don't explain how Rocky was able to morph in that one, special a couple years ago where he showed up with JDF and Cat. He just kind of morphs into the Red Ranger because they couldn't get Austin St. John at the time because Austin wouldn't come back. Austin was very adamant about not coming back for the longest time.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think he was okay with, like...
Oh, he came back for Beast Morphers because somebody at the show said, we're going to be changing hands to Hasbro, and basically, like... the old band is not going to be back together. The stunt people are going to be different. We're going to have all this other stuff happening with the brand. So this is like literally your last time to work with some people you worked with like almost 27 years ago.
Right.
And, ASJ knew the people behind the show and all this other stuff. So he was like, yeah, I'll come and do it. And he had a very short episode, but that's the reason why he came back.
That's cool.
Is because his people he knew behind the scenes who were working on the show before Hasbro literally changed hands. That's why he came back for Beast Morphers.
That makes sense.
We have to kill these putties to move on.
Okay. Yeah, they're hard to get because
they're on the bouncy house.
Bouncy house.
Oops. Oh, cool. I did like a hip hop Tito thing.
Difficult about this game is you have to be on the exact right level with this guys.
I think you got him. Oh, the putty didn't break yet. It has to break. Okay, there we go. Now we can go, power. Yeah. Okay, so anyway. Most of the movie, they're unmorphed. You could argue for screen time, so you can see the original actors and the replacement actors.
Right.
But I think also they did it because of the storyline.
Yeah.
The Minotaur doesn't... It goes around catching other Ranger teams to power up Rita's evil machine.
Oh, yeah.
And turns them into the minifigures that you saw.
Right, so if they're not morphed, they can't really be turned into those figures.
Well, I mean, they probably could, but they would be no good to Rita because they can't power up her machine. The morphing grid is what's powering up her evil machine so she can time travel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Rangers unmorph, then there's no point in capturing them. I mean, if she wants to go ahead and kill them, she could.
Yeah.
But she needs their powers to activate her machine.
Yeah. So she's going to want them morphed.
What's interesting, though, is they actually showed a lot of popular Rangers that were kidnapped, along with Jason and Tommy and Kim.
Oh, wow.
Trent from Dino Thunder, the leader of the Dino Thunder Rangers was captured, like the Red Ranger, Connor. They had Tanya, the Zeo Ranger, Yellow, who was from the original show, so she was captured. They had the Phantom Ranger from Turbo, which nobody has seen in a long time, since the Z-Wave thing.
Oh, wow. So did those actors and actresses come back?
No, they were just little minifigures.
Oh, I see. Okay, so they used the the figurines of those.
Yeah, they said that they beat them and then, captured them and put them in the machine.
Oh, that makes sense. They beat them because they haven't been around for a long time.
No, I mean, they didn't know that Slizzard thing, I mean, it wasn't in the records that it could literally turn them into minifigures.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of weird if you think about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
There was definitely stakes involved with this, but I would have to watch the special again to see what other Rangers were kidnapped, but they mostly showed, like, Saban Rangers that were there. I think RPM was there from Disney. I think they had some Ninja Storm, something like that, but it doesn't really matter. It's not really important to the plot. It's just kind of like, oh, captured Rangers powering the machine.
So does Min, for spoilers, does Min eventually get to use the saber-tooth tiger powers? Or?
Yeah, but this is the one part of the movie I don't like. You know how Trini died, right?
Mm-hmm.
She got blasted by Rita, and then she was basically disintegrated.
Yeah.
Well, guess what happens to Min?
Oh, no.
Min basically does a self-sacrifice, unmorph, to protect Billy. The same way, the same exact choreography, jumps in front of the shot.
Wow, that's so weird.
And doesn't die. Instead of not being able to die, she is able to morph now. And becomes the saber-tooth tiger. And they have like this little tribute where you get to see Twee like inside the new actress's eyes, like the daughter, like literally passing on the legacy. What they should have done, which they could have done with CGI, is have Trini's spirit be the one that protected Min from the blast.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so cool, Luke.
That would have been cool, but they don't do it that way. It's really cheesy how they did it, and it almost kind of diminishes Trini's death because her daughter survived unmorphed and Trini disintegrated.
Yeah, Trini's been a ranger for like 30 years, and her daughter's only been just morphing for like the last 6 months.
Yeah, it hit her morpher that was in the side of her like jacket or something, and they're saying the morpher is what protected her. So technically Trini protected her, but it would have been cool if Trini's ghost did it. Like,
yeah,
because
definitely.
because morphers actually aren't invincible.
Yeah.
Like morphers can be destroyed. So a morpher would not be able to take that blast that Rita did, because that was like a killing blast. But they're saying, I've read some things about it, like from like people on Twitter and stuff talking about that, and they're like, yeah, the morpher protected her or something, you know. And they were like, technically Trini was the one who protected her, but it's like we didn't see Trini's ghost. We would have saw like a yellow energy, like see-through being or something like that. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
that would have been cool to see.
She believes
her protecting her daughter.
The daughter believes that the morpher talks to her.
Oh wow!
And that it's her mom. So
that would have like brought it that full circle then.
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was like, okay, that's the only thing that I didn't like. One other thing that really irritated me is Kat has a line that was originally intended for Kimberly coming back to the show.
Oh, wow.
Basically, they're fighting the putties, and Kat makes a remark about how, like, oh, they're just a bunch of angry turkeys. And then, you know, Rocky says something about, like, you know, putting the turkeys down or something. But the thing is, Kat never fought the putties.
Oh, yeah?
Kat came into the show when the Tangas were around.
Oh, wow. So her line doesn't really make sense.
Also, another thing, Kat is proficient in this movie with the power bow to the same extent as Kimberly.
Oh, wow.
And she's never used the power bow in the show.
Wow, that's
She
weird.
had different powers as the Pink Ranger. She never used the power bow to my knowledge. Ever.
Wow.
That was always Kimberly's thing. She also used to hang out with Tommy a lot. Like, because she was a ranger in training.
Right.
In the third
And he
season
was,
when
like,
she replaced
helping
Kimberly.
train her and stuff.
So she never really used a lot of the ranger powers. She just would morph and she would, like, fight Tangas and stuff and do ninjetti stuff, but she never used the classic Mighty Morphin power, like, power bow and all this other stuff. But in this movie, she uses the power bow consecutively to, like, almost like the same awesomeness that Kimberly can.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like disrespectful to the original characters, kind of, because
no,
it's like,
I
well,
think
not really
the reason
but...
why they did that is because I believe they had in mind that Amy Jo was going to return before they got Kat, and then after they went ahead and they wrote the story and they did all the choreography.
So they already had the choreography done, and then it had to be her.
Yeah, and then they just ADR'd
Yeah, so it's like they just did the best they could, basically.
Yeah, because the fighting style for the Pink Ranger when Kat is there acts a lot like Kimberly did. They just didn't have Kimberly's like sound effects anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what some people like said when they watched the special too, is that Kat acts a lot like Kimberly.
Right. Yeah, so it's like it was supposed to be Kimberly.
Yeah, but Amy Jo turned them down because she was like, I'm like 50 plus years old. I don't look good in spandex anymore. I don't want to do this.
Oh, wow.
And Catherine Sutherland was like, yeah, heck yeah, I want to do this. So they were like, okay. So that's pretty much how that worked out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's see. What else can we talk about the movie? So pretty much Megazord stuff. So after they defeat some of the monsters, Rita's like, I have to make my monster grow. We're on the moon. Billy is the one who summons the Dino Megazord. And then Billy and Min are the ones that pilot it. So only 2 Rangers are the ones who are actually piloting the Megazord.
Wow.
And the Megazord now is all like CGI metal. It doesn't look like the original Megazord because it's all computer.
Oh, interesting. So it doesn't look anything like what they used before, which was probably like a model or something.
No, it was a Super Sentai guy in a suit.
Oh,
the Megazords were guys in suits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like basically like a King Kong or like a Godzilla movie. So it's completely CGI. Billy is piloting it and controlling everything. And then eventually they get the other 3 Rangers to teleport in, and they have Billy at the front, they have Zack on the side, in Billy's old position, and then they have Rocky and Kat in the back, where Trini and some other people would be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, again, this Red Ranger is not a leader, he's a follower. So, he, you know, handles his role fine, but I still feel like Rocky is better in Zeo, personally. I didn't dislike him in this special. I thought he was okay.
Yeah.
But the breakaway character for me were 2 characters. It was Walter, and I liked Min.
Oh, very cool.
I liked Min a lot, and then after that would have been David and Catherine, like for the cast.
Yeah, from what I saw, I really liked, Walter Jones and David Youst a lot. Like, they did a great job.
Yep, they did a good job.
And Min seemed very sweet.
She has a lot... Well, she's sweet in the beginning.
From the beginning.
She's kind of a brat for most of the movie
revengeful.
because she's after vengeance. And, you know, the movie is about, like, not seeking revenge. Because if you seek revenge, you can't become a Power Ranger. Because you're using your powers, for personal reasons. Which goes against Zordon's original rules from the first season. Like, literally the pilot episode.
Yeah.
Rangers can't do anything for personal gain. Personal gain, for revenge, for anything. Like, you're fighting for your city, you're protecting the Earth. You know, if you have to end up sacrificing your life to save the Earth, then that's something you might have to do someday. So it all goes back to the pilot episode. Everything that happened was basically what Zordon did. It would have been nice if Zordon appeared in this, like, even as a flashback, but he doesn't.
Yeah, that would be nice to see Zordon.
Well, I mean, they have... David Felding is still alive. You have to shoot the circles, Amber.
Thank you.
The little circle thingies. There you go. I think we got him. And now they're going to turn the Megazord into the Megazord. And we have to follow the little prompts. But, you know, for what it was, I think the special was okay. There are definitely some things they probably could have done with it. But for a 90-minute movie, I think it's one of the best Power Ranger specials they've ever made, personally.
Very cool.
Good. Okay, game, what are you going to do? Okay, cool. So, circle X. Oh, we failed.
Sorry, I messed it up.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, let's try this again.
X, triangle, X. Good. Okay. And this one is going to be square, triangle, X.
Oh, I see. The faster, the better, so...
Yep. This one is square, circle, triangle. There you go. This one is square, triangle, X, triangle. Okay. Try again. We have tons of health.
Okay.
Triangle, square, square. Cool. And triangle, circle. Oh, almost.
Sorry.
It's okay. Alright, Ultra Power. He's gonna kill the monster anyway. Win. Okay.
Nice.
Yep. And you can, if you're done, you can go. Because I know that you're having problems.
Sorry.
That's fine. Because I can play, like, the last part solo. It's fine, you did the best you could. And Zelda already had her medicine, right? Cool. You have a good night, honey. Yep, no problem. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. What happened? Yeah. Hold all this. We don't need to do this. I can't skip this. I gotta wait. Yep, I was gonna talk about Min some more. So, Min has a lot of character development in the movie. Like, she starts out as a person that just, you know... She, not happy with what happened to her mom, obviously. Oh, wait. How am I gonna... I'm gonna have to start this over again, actually. I'm gonna have to start it over again, because it's recognizing 2 players, and we don't want it to recognize 2 players. I won't be able to play! Oh, that'd be a problem. That'd be a big problem. Skip this. Ah, after 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer the Earth. Yeah. Now, it should just recognize my controller now. Let's see. Yep. Okay, good. I'm gonna bring in my boy Jason because I just feel like it. So, there we go. Oh yeah. Also, you can see I played with him quite a bit. So, I feel in my element now. I could do Trini. How strong is Trini? Because the rest of the game is going to get pretty tough, actually. Trini, how strong are you? Trini is only a level 7. Ouch. Tommy was a level 7, level 9, 6, 8, 8. Jason was 11. So, yeah, we played through this game quite a bit with Jason. I could try it with Trini for a little bit, since we're talking about Min. Ready to rock. And then we'll get to some stuff. If people are wondering, the Trini stuff was actually handled with a lot of respect, you know, regarding what happened to the character. I think for what they were able to do with Trini's character, it makes sense. There was a lot of pictures of the actress, like from behind-the-scenes stuff from the original Power Ranger show. Trini was a mom who we don't know who the father of Min is. They never tell you. I thought they were going to say that Zack... at one point, it felt like that Billy was the dad. Like, I was just waiting for, you know, Min to say that Billy was her father. Like, at the end of the movie, I was waiting for it. I was anticipating it. I was thinking that's what was going to happen. But it didn't. Like, maybe they'll do it in a... Cosmic Fury or something like that, because I believe the actress is coming back for a couple episodes in Cosmic Fury as the new Yellow Ranger. But it was a little weird, the relationship and the anger that she has toward Billy. Like, she's obviously known him for a long time, and the way that she was talking about how she was mad at Billy, not just for, like, killing her mom, or, like, you know, being responsible for her mom sacrificing herself or something like that. It seemed like there was maybe some mistakes Billy made in his life. And maybe that's one of the routes they were going with it, but they don't actually do it in the movie. You don't know who Trini's, you know, husband or ex-husband was or something like that. All you know is that Trini and her daughter lived alone for years, and she's been raising her daughter. And Billy hasn't been on Earth very much. So that's why I was, like, trying to put 2 to 2 together. Like, oh, maybe, you know, Billy is the father because he's not home. He's traveling in space and all this other stuff. But then they threw, like, another curveball by talking about, like, the Aquitar Rangers and talking about his love interest from that. So it was kind of like, oh, okay. So I guess, you know, Trini didn't end up with anybody of significance because, you know, if she married a Ranger, I think the Ranger would have stayed with her, just like Tommy and Kat got married and had JJ. You know, they've been together for a very long time, probably like 20-something years, assuming. So I don't think if she married, like, Jason, or if Trini married, like, Billy or Jason or Zack or something, I don't think they would have left her high and dry. They weren't that kind of guy, so pretty sure Trini just ends up being with a dude who wasn't... a Ranger, just some average human who ends up leaving her or passes away. They never really explain. But basically, a nice throwback to the original Yellow Ranger 2 is Ming's fighting style, or Min, is actually the actress's Twee's fighting style, which was Kung Fu. So she uses a lot of Mantis style. She does some throwbacks to the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger episodes with Trini, and when Trini was studying, like, different forms of, like, Kung Fu and Tai Chi and stuff like that. So that was something I think a lot of people missed out on. Like, they weren't really paying attention to that, but her daughter is very proficient in that style of martial arts. So if you remember how Trini fought Unmorph, that's how her daughter fights. She also fights with 2 weapons, which she was training to learn how to use the saber-tooth daggers. So the reason why she fights with 2 Banta sticks is because she's trying to learn how to use the saber-tooth tiger daggers, even though they won't let her use the morpher. So that's another thing people probably won't get watching the movie. Like, why is she fighting with 2 weapons? It's because if you watch the movie at the end, she's actually very good with the saber-tooth tiger daggers because she's been training for a year how to fight with 2 weapons, like the way Trini did. So the writers, whoever the writers were of the Power Rangers special, they did a great job. Like, they really, I think they understood the characters, they understood the source material, they understood what happened in the original show. There's a lot of throwbacks to the first season of Power Rangers, more so than the time that Rocky and Kat are there. Rocky and Kat are just replacements of Jason and Kim. And they act like replacements of Jason and Kim. They don't really take charge with anything. They just kind of follow what Billy and Zack are doing. You know, and they do great in those roles. Kat's story is she wants her husband back. Tommy is missing in action. She gets a little emotional. The rest of the team have to tell her, you know, kind of like, just relax. We're going to get Tommy back, we promise. And that's pretty much it for her arc. She's a worried wife, and she's, you know, worried about leaving her teenage son, JJ, behind or something. At least I think JJ's a teenager. I don't know. They never really mention it. They just mentioned JJ from the Power Rangers Ninja Steel special that he was in. Whoops, I'm kind of failing at this. I think I'm just supposed to go over here. There we go. I'm cool with what they did with the Yellow Ranger, like Trini's daughter. I think she's a fun character. The way that she behaves, she's kind of like a Trini clone, a little bit, like, and also like a clone of, or a personality of Kimberly. Like, the new Yellow Ranger is kind of, she fights like Trini, but her personality is kind of like that of Kimberly's. A little bit. Maybe when we see more of her, we'll see more like the, you know, very calm demeanor that Trini had. Like, maybe her daughter will echo that. But also, you know, kids aren't clones of their parents. They're their own personalities, and they might share similar DNA and have, like, some similarities to like, maybe how some of their behavior and how they, you know, their mannerisms and stuff like that. But they're not really their parents, obviously. So it would make sense that Min would be a little bit different than her mom. But maybe when we see her again, and if she shows up in Power Rangers, whatever it is, Cosmic Fury or whatever the name of the show is, I don't know. I believe she is going to show up in that show. Then maybe we'll get to see how she's been adjusting to her powers. And maybe she'll be hanging out with Billy. I don't know. But I like her character. I like what they did with it. They explained how you can't be a person who's bloodthirsty, because that's not what a Power Ranger is. And once she accepts that and she moves on and she's able to get vengeance for her mom, not revenge, she becomes a pretty good Yellow Ranger. So I like that. I don't know what Netflix is going to do with the Mighty Morphin cast now that they have a teenager as the Yellow Ranger. Like, literally, the Mighty Morphin team, because Rocky and Kat return the temporary Dino coins to Alpha at the end of the special. So the Mighty Morphin team, as of now, is Jason, Min, Billy, Zack, and Kim. And Tommy. Those are the Mighty Morphin Rangers at the end. Like, the ones who have the active Dino Powers. For whatever Hasbro or Netflix is going to use those guys for in the future, if ever. That's the Mighty Morphin team that, you know, would be Min's partners or teammates. Rocky, who's a firefighter, and Kat, who's a stay-at-home mom, probably, I don't know. They end up going back to wherever they're living at the end. They teleport away and they give up their powers. So, because, I mean, you know, they were just there to help out Red and Pink. Because Red and Pink were captured. So it wouldn't make sense for them to stay on as the new Tyrannosaurus and Pterodactyl Ranger, because they're still alive. So they were just there to help out. Like a special... Also, the morphers that they were using probably can't be used extensively. Even Zack mentioned that it'd be kind of dangerous to continue to use that stuff, because they're not the real Dino coins. They're like auxiliary morphers or whatever. So, I mean, you know, you probably don't want to continue to use that stuff because Zordon said that if you use Power Ranger powers that are messed up, it can kill you. Like you would blow up or something. Which is something that Adam mentions in the episode with Carlos and Power Rangers in Space when he morphs with a broken morpher and the Ranger powers are kind of killing him. So, you know. A lot of throwbacks to stuff. I wish I saw more of Johnny and Ashley in you know, in the special, but they're basically taking 6 hours to get back to Earth, and they come in handy at the conclusion of the special. But it would have been cool to see what Ranger powers those two have now, if they're just instructors at the SPA, which I'm probably assuming is a SPD or like an academy or something, or if they're retired Rangers like Rocky and Kat. Although Kat has her own, she has her Zeo powers and she has her Turbo powers. Even if she doesn't, you know, have connection to the original Pink Ranger powers that she was just temporarily using. She still has Ranger powers because she showed up as a Ranger in that Ninja Steel episode or special or whatever it was. I would like Rocky to come back again, but I would like him to come back as a Zeo Ranger. But I don't think they can ever do a Zeo special because, you know, basically, you know, JDF is gone. And I not to discredit Hasbro or anything, but I think having the Ranger characters appear when the actor is deceased, it feels a little weird. Especially if you give them lines. So if they do a Zeo special, say in 30 years or something like that, and they bring back like ASJ and Steve and Catherine and Tanya and Johnny and Billy, if they had like the Red Zeo Ranger show up morphed and hanging out with the team when he wasn't a part of the special, I think that'd be really weird. You could do a Zeo special and maybe pass on the Red Ranger powers to his son, you know. But again, it would be really hard to do a Zeo thing with you know, with the Tommy character. And also, I think it would be a bad idea to kill off the Tommy character so close after the original actor passed away. It's been 20-something years since Twee has been gone, and Twee has shown up in non-speaking, you know, Power Ranger cameos for the past 15 years. So it made sense that they killed off her character again, or like they literally killed her off, and it wasn't done in poor taste or anything like that because people have seen the Yellow Ranger again. Like, the Trini characters appeared in different, like, you know, cameos throughout the Power Ranger franchise for the past, you know, 30 years. So it's not that, you know, non-speaking or speaking, it doesn't matter. And now they have a new Yellow Ranger that they can actually have cameo if they want to for the Saber-Tooth Tiger, because people know that under the mask now is Trini's daughter, which is kind of cool. So, I mean, if they did that for JDF, like they killed off his character for a movie and they had his son JJ take on the powers or something like that. But one way they could do it, maybe he's like missing or in space or something, or in action, and they give his daughter, you know, his daughter with Tammy Frank, they make her like the new Red Ranger or something for Zeo or something. I don't know. Or maybe just don't do a Zeo reunion at all. Zeo was popular, but it wasn't as popular as Mighty Morphin. That's just my 2 cents. Or maybe if you did like a special anniversary for Zeo, you have like Zeo and Turbo combined, and you get TJ involved. You get like not like a full team of Zeo and full Turbo. You have like both teams with select characters in it for like a reunion special or something. Since those actors kind of, you know, knew each other and hung out on each other's shows and things like that. But my big hope with this Power Rangers Once and Always thing It was a great reunion movie, and I really hope that Netflix sees that fans my age and people who are into like the Netflix Power Rangers would be like, hey, you know, there might be this thing here where we could do like maybe like a mini series or something with this kind of darker Power Rangers brand that's geared for adults with like, you know, stakes and stuff. I mean, you can't have higher stakes than having a Power Ranger killed in action. That's pretty intense stuff. And also, you know, the fact that her daughter was going after Rita for revenge and things like that. That was handled pretty expertly by the staff and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that I want more Mighty Morphin stuff necessarily. I would like to see the Mighty Morphin cast pop up more than they have, especially Walter, because Walter was amazing in it. And maybe, you know, have like the Mighty Morphin team show up in like crossovers or something like that. And if they're gonna do one more Mighty Morphin thing, this is just off the top of my head, I don't think Netflix will do it. I've talked to other Ranger creators and things like that, and they think that this is kind of a good idea. So I'm just gonna throw it out there for you guys. But I think that maybe because Min is the new Yellow Ranger, I think that maybe it's time for a Mighty Morphin reboot where the living Mighty Morphin actors pass on their active powers to their Ranger kids. I think that they should continue the Mighty Morphin legacy and have, like, a new group of teenagers take on the Mighty Morphin powers. Oh, I killed Trini. I did bad. All right, we're going to bring Jason in. I'm sorry, Trini, you got killed in action. Ay, 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 ay. So I don't know how, you know, people would be on board with that idea. Like, you know, having like the Power Rangers Ranger kids take over as the new Mighty Morphin team. I don't know how I feel about like a bunch of 50-year-olds hanging out with a teenager, like, you know, literally fighting like space wars and monsters and stuff like that. That's going to take some getting used to, because these are people, they're old enough to be her grandparents almost. Or, you know, their parents. People got married much later from people who were born in the 90s. Whereas people in the 80s and 90s tended to get married like in their 20s. A lot of people who were teenagers in the 90s, when they ended up getting married, it was in their late 30s, early 40s. Something like that. Or mid 30s. So it would explain why Trini had a kid at like, I don't know. She probably had a daughter around, because they don't explain Min's age. I think she's supposed to be 17 or 16. So that probably, at the time of Trini's death, I think she was supposed to be maybe 45, 46, maybe 50, I don't know. I think on her tombstone it said like 1970 something to 2002, or 2022. Trini Kwan, like 1975 to, at least I think it was 75. It was either 70 or early 80s. I don't remember. Oh, she's supposed to be 15 years old? Wow. Okay. She looks much older. So she's 15. So, I don't know. I think it would be cool just because you know, the Mighty Morphin brand, let's face it, the Mighty Morphin brand is a cash cow for the Power Rangers franchise. And now that they showed that they can literally replace a original Ranger with a, you know, offspring of theirs, who's to say that they can't replace more of the Mighty Morphin team, like, say, JDF or something with his son JJ, or, you know, Jason, you know, giving up his powers for his kid or something like that in a miniseries or something. It could work. I don't know if it would work, but it could. Jason, are you going to morph, man? Thank you. I don't know if that's what Hasbro's plan is or not. That's what actually Billy's plan, or David in his Quantum Continuum series, his story was basically about the there's 6 Ranger teenage kids of, like, Jason, Tommy, Trini, Kimberly, Zack, and Billy. Like, they're kids at the end of the quantum continuum. It's basically like a Ghostbusters Afterlife thing where David was going to have the original Rangers have, like, one last hurrah where they have to save the entire universe, and then their kids would end up replacing them. Like, they would officially retire because the power would be in good hands, and it would be in the hands of their kids, who would be the next generation of the Mighty Morphin team. That's what David Yost's plan was. So I don't know if Netflix is going to follow the same idea in the future, but I don't think this is going to be the last we see of the Mighty Morphin team. I have a feeling it won't. But I don't know. What did you guys think of the special? Did you see it? Did you like it? Do you agree with me about some of the stuff, or just kind of like, I think that might be off in left field a little bit, like with some of that stuff? Curious to know what you guys think. 1972 to 2022, so that would have made Trini how old? Like 46, 47, 48? Her character? You enjoyed it? That's cool. I can't really do math like that off the top of my head. I want to say she was late 40s, maybe early 50s. She was 50 years old? Wow. Okay, so yeah, they're getting up there in years. They're 50. Wow. One thing I would have liked, I'm not gonna lie, there was no jokes about the Rangers being too old to be Rangers. Like, not even the villains. Like, the villains especially. I think that would have been a nice throwback to what Tommy did in Dino Thunder, where they said, aren't you a little too old to do this, Tommy? Like, if the villains were talking smack to the Rangers, that's something I would have liked to see. Like, they're just totally cool with, like, these 50-year-olds, like, fighting monsters. You know? I think that would have been kind of funny if they did that. So they made Trini 50 in that. Wow. That's crazy. Well, that's canon now, so... Okay. So then she probably got married, or had her daughter when she was in her late 30s. To have a daughter at 15. Well, I think. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we don't know how many kids Trini had. At one point in the special, I thought they were saying, like, Trini was all they had. Like, if you're just talking about a single child, you wouldn't say... You would just say, you know, Trini is all she had, but they said they. So how many kids did Trini have? And you never see these other kids. At all. Oh, Jason had a lot of power. Okay, cool. Wait, did I do all this stuff already? Oh, wow, I maxed out Jason. He can't do anything else. Oh, yes, he can. Energy! Energy! I can't do this, can't do this. Ranger team. There we go. Melee damage increased. Power Ranger teams. Power Ranger Blaster. Okay, now he's maxed. Okie doke. I thought she was an only child too, but if you go back and you watch the movie, either it's a mistake, or they messed up. Continuity. Because when Zack and Billy are talking, they say Trini is all they had. What are we going to tell them? And then they start talking about Min afterwards, saying how, like, well, Min is smart. Like, she's going to figure it out. She's going to know something's different. So, I mean, who are they talking about? So, I mean, that might be a continuity error, like, in the film. Okay, that's dope. Or maybe, I don't know, because, I mean, Jason, Tommy, Kim, Zack, and Billy were all there at the death of Trini, so it's not like they need to tell somebody else. Maybe they were referring to Trini's family, like, but I doubt her parents would still be alive if Trini was in her 50s. Because I remember Trini's parents were actually pretty old in Mighty Morphin. Her parents were older than some of the other Rangers' parents. When you briefly saw the parents of the Power Rangers, which was not very often. Whack. Yeah, I mean, if they definitely had her 50-something, then it would definitely make sense to have the rest of the team pass on their powers. Because the reason why I say this is the Rangers, unfortunately, the actors themselves are getting up there in years. And if they're going to continue doing something with the Power Rangers like Mighty Morphin brand, if they do, ASJ and all these other people are wicked old. Like they got to be either 50 years old or 49 or 48 years old. Like they can't really suit up in spandex much more. Maybe like one more time, like one more movie or something, or one more special, they could get away with it. But like in another 5 or 10 years, I don't think so. Even if they use stunt actors, like it would basically be like grandparent Rangers. And don't get me wrong, I love Mighty Morphin, but I just think that would be kind of weird. You know? Especially if they do something in like the year 2026 or 2027 or 2030 or something. Ow. That's just my reasoning. They don't have to do anything with Mighty Morphin anymore. And they probably just replaced Trini with her daughter to just have it be like a one-time thing, work for the story. Or maybe they could have that actress appear again and get new Ranger powers, but it wouldn't really make sense for her to do that because she's the Yellow Ranger now. She has the saber-tooth tiger powers, you know? And those powers would be very significant for her because those powers were her mother's for like 30 years, pretty much. So, you know. I think it would be in poor taste if, like, let's say, because Cosmic Fury is going to have a lot of different Ranger colors. Like, if she, let's say, became like the blue or orange Ranger or something for Cosmic Fury, when she just went through that huge ordeal to get her mom's powers, and she'd been training a year to get her mom's powers, it would just feel kind of like, okay, well, what was the whole point of Once and Always then? Like, the struggle of becoming the Yellow Ranger and learning how to not seek revenge and all this other stuff, so. I would like to see her character show up more as the Saber-Tooth Ranger. I don't know in what, though. I just think it would be kind of fun. She's a interesting character, and she had she grew on me, like, after probably the 3rd time seeing the movie, so. That's just my thoughts, you know. I'm not like a resident Power Ranger expert or anything like that. I like Power Rangers, but I just think that it'd probably make more sense to do it that way. Oh, Lord Zed, there he is. Yeah, Twee was born in 1973, yep. A little Power Ranger trivia for you guys. Austin St. John was the youngest cast member of Power Rangers before Steve and Johnny. Steve and Johnny were the youngest members after Austin St. John. Jason David Frank, David, Twee, Amy Jo, and Walter were all in their 20s. Early 20s when they played teenagers with attitude in the first season of Power Rangers. And Austin St. John was either 17 or 18 years old. He was the only teenager. He was the only teenager with attitude, and he acted older than everybody on set. And he was the leader, which was weird. Like, think about it. A bunch of 20-year-old kids who were his, like, seniors. He was the leader, and he was the youngest cast member at the time of the originals. And then, of course, when Steve and Johnny became the new Red and Black Rangers, they were the youngest. They were 17 or 18 years old. They were the babies. When David and the other characters, the other actors were much older. Because they would actually find actors who were older, not just for Power Rangers, but just live-action shows in general. You would usually get, like, actors who were in their 20s who looked like they were teenagers to play teenagers. That's just how they did it. I don't know if it was because of, like, Hollywood regulations or what have you, but they didn't usually hire teenagers to play teenagers outside of, like, the Saved by the Bell show. That just wasn't the normal on television back in the 90s. Ow. But I will say this. Walter, David, Jason, David Frank, Amy Jo, and Twee, if you go back and you watch the original series, they look like teenagers. They looked really young for their age. They had baby faces, kind of. And they were in their 20s. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but that's true. Both Walter and Austin talked about it on Fanword. I don't know if you guys know what Fanword is. It's a company that Walter and Austin own. And it's a Power Ranger fandom / like Galactic Productions agency where it's basically like a pay site where they do all kinds of like Power Ranger stuff and things that they can't do on their YouTube channel. It's kind of fun to watch them. This is overkill. Oh well, it's still cool. I'm wicked rusty at this game, but it's still fun. I don't know if you can still download this game or not. It's wicked old. They came out in either 2017 or 20... Might even come out in 2015. I don't remember. Ah, I died! Ay, ay, ay. I think that's a good stopping point, because I've already talked about everything I was going to talk about. But yeah, that pretty much does it for my Power Rangers Once and Always discussion / review. If people are wondering what I give this movie, I've seen the movie 3 times now. I give it a solid, like, 7.5, maybe 8. My favorite characters in the movie was Walter and Trini's daughter and Billy. Billy has a really cool arc in the movie. Her daughter goes through a lot in the movie. I think they handled Trini's death really well. I think they handled the original 6 characters at the first 5 minutes of the movie pretty well for what we saw of them. I would have liked them to use, like, some sound bites for Jason. He just kind of grunts, and just says Tyrannosaurus, like, once. But, at least it's the original 6. Sometimes when they do these specials in Super Sentai and they can't get the original actors, they just use the replacement characters, and they completely just ignore the original cast for an anniversary. So I have to give props where props is due for Hasbro, because that was awesome that they did that. They actually acknowledged the original 6 Rangers as the Mighty Morphin team, and they literally said that Rocky and Kat were the replacement Rangers, which they were. So, all in all, it's a good special. Hopefully you guys check it out if you want to. If not, hopefully I explained the movie as best I could, and you guys had fun listening to it. And we got an awesome stream series for you tomorrow. We're starting a brand new game called Advance Wars, which we have 1 day early access to. So that'll be happening tomorrow. And we'll also be continuing Breath of the Wild and more of Disney Speedstorm. So you guys have a fantastic night. Remember, once a Ranger, always a Ranger. And if you want more Mighty Morphin, let me know in the comment section below. Also, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Since I wasn't able to see it in the chat, why don't you leave me a comment telling me what you thought about the show. And if you would like to see the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers pass on their powers to their kids, to actual teenagers with attitudes instead of 50-year-olds on vitamins. Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys and gals, have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow with more awesome live streams only on K-Wings Let's Plays. Later.